coming back to the show after I don't know how long of a gap it was, and then just the feel of coming back into that role, and then later on when you had to take the role of Selah, you know, her half Romulan daughter, and play the role of the enemy against everyone else. What was that like?
Well, two-part question. Coming back, I think it was in season 3, right? Of Yesterday's Enterprise?
Yes.
Was great. I mean, it was such a welcome surprise. I never saw that coming, and you know, the producer called me up and said, you know, there's a script, a really well-written script that brings Tasha back. Yeah. And I thought that was incredible. And he sent it to me, and it was really well written. And I love the opportunity to do that and just kind of step back in. It's so rare that you're able to do that. You're invited to do that as an actor, to revisit a role that you held very closely. A couple of years later, so it was fascinating, and at first it was awkward, and I had to sort of once I got in that spacesuit and walked around the set and saw everyone, it all came roaring back. So it was a delight, and I loved working with Christopher McDonald, and I was really excited to work with Whoopi, which I hadn't had a chance to in the first season. So that was great, and it just gave me some meat to play. Selah, on the other hand, was so fascinating to again be able to play your own daughter, and what does that mean, and to be a daughter that doesn't like her mother in any way, you know, is really an enemy to that part of her nature. So it always takes a little bit of running up to and jumping in. I mean, All Good Things was like that for me as well. I found it, I kind of came to it really matter-of-factly, thinking, oh yeah, it's Tasha Yar. I know how to play her, and I've played her, and I jumped into it, and I suddenly found myself in a capsule with Patrick, and went, shit, man, what am I doing? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I had no, you know, it was very weird. So it's always I have a very unique opportunity in this experience of Star Trek. Very unique.
Excellent. Okay. We have our next question right here. Hello.
Hi. As an actor on the set, what is the funniest moment you remember? Do you ever play, or did you ever play practical jokes on each other, or the crew ever play practical jokes on you? What's the funniest memory you have?
Okay, as a psychologist, you actually don't play practical jokes on people. Oi, don't go away, I'm talking to you.
I love her.
As a psychologist, you don't actually play practical jokes on people that you truly love. Right? Think about it. Really, you play them on people that you pretend you like, but you really just right? Yes, you do.
What about the time?
You do. So we did do practical jokes.
What about
we
the
did
time when you took the raw egg and you smashed it down on Patrick's head? That was my favorite.
Actually, there is a moment. There is a moment that I haven't mentioned at the times we've been together, where it was a moment that was funny and a little ironic and a little painful at the same time. But Patrick and I were, when you got captured, the 4 lights thing, and you got captured. Before he got captured, we were running around with Gates and Patrick and I were running around in these caves trying to find this place. And we're running around, and we're wearing these outfits with the balaclava hats and everything like that. And it was a long day, and just a sideline in one of the stages where we call Planet Hell, they always had dirt, piled up someplace, because they knew that where we were going to be, there was going to be a planet with dirt. So they always had huge amounts of dirt. And at Paramount, we had a huge number of cats that would run around. Cats dirt.
Oh boy.
And so they spread it all around, and we're crawling around, and it's late, and it's horrible, and it's late at night. I think it was a Friday night, and Gates gets buried by an avalanche, and Patrick pulls her out and almost touches her breasts, and he's freaked out about that. And we're all just, it was just one of those things. And Patrick and I, at a break, we're sitting there, and we started laughing uncontrollably. And it wasn't like a laugh like, oh, isn't this? We were almost crying because everybody's laughing and laughing. And I look at Patrick, I said, Patrick, why are you laughing? And he goes, I don't know how I got here. we couldn't, I know. Did you take a car? 1 minute I'm doing a lecture in Santa Barbara, next thing is I'm crawling on a cat doo-doo. It's a moment out of the Galaxy Quest. It was hilarious. And that was one of those moments. And the second one was where LeVar was dead in sick bay, dead. He's on a slab, covered, naked, dead. And Brent walks in, and I and Marina walk in, and Brent never does this, ever. He couldn't get through the scene for 20 minutes because he'd walk in, he says, Nurse Ogawa, can I speak to Jordy? And we see Jordy dead. And every time that he'd walk in the background, and he'd go, Nurse Ogawa, and he'd just break up. And we couldn't do the show, and Marina was there, and she was on the floor. She was laughing so hard, she was like, no.
It was on the floor, literally, twice that happened.
Twice that happened.
Twice, with James Worthy in that episode in the observation lounge, and once in that, I literally laughed so hard. When they say you were rolling around on the floor, I was literally rolling around.
There was no way to do it. We could clearly see him laying on the slab. And so I got to the point where, Nurse Ogawa, I know that Jordy is dead, but may I speak to him?
But listen, guys, Michael, Brent, you cannot tell that story without echoing exactly the same situation in a certain episode that I directed.
That's true. It was the one with Michelle Forbes, and we were looking for Friends in Row, and there she was sitting right there, and we had to say, has anyone seen Ensign Rowe? And she's sitting in front of us.
I think we described her. Has anyone seen a woman about this tall, dark hair, and she has a mole?
And Patrick was directing, and so he took it very seriously. He wanted to get through the day and through the scene, and he was saying, now look, just look over there.
Yes!
Patrick, I swear, you still haven't forgiven us for that. Brent went up. Oh, go ahead.
It was a huge day of work, and my first said to me that morning, I don't think we can make this day. And the last scene of the day was indeed a duologue with Michelle Forbes and myself, about 4.5 pages long. And I was directing, and I had to play this big scene, and these guys just wouldn't cooperate. And all they had to do was this little scene, and they were going to be home by 6 o'clock in the evening. They could waste an hour or two, and I couldn't waste an hour. And I said to them, look, guys, the camera doesn't see Michelle, so the audience won't see Michelle. They don't know you can't see her, but somehow the fact that they could see her. John, what's your phrase about offending?
It violated their sense of truth.
Exactly.
Right. It wasn't just that we could see her, she was sitting this close to us.
Listen,
Wait.
I said have a forgive for you for the cake.
We can't, what?
The cake. When I was the cake, when you were directing that episode.
Yeah, that was a weird
Don't
one.
even start with me, old Waldy. You had me in that bloody cake for hours. The cake was supposed to be a life-size cake of Troy.
I remember.
Apparently, in a production meeting to which I obviously wasn't invited, they decided that that would be too squeamish for children to watch chunks of Troy being cut out when it's shaped like a body. So the real truth is they were cheap bastards and they went to Costco and got a sheet cake. And just frosted it. And so they made me a box, so I would sit in the box and have my head sticking out and the cake in front of me. They didn't put any ventilation in the box. I was in that box for hours. It got so hot, the frosting started to melt on the blooming cake. So, and he'd come by and won't be long now, Marina, won't be long now. We'll have you out of there in a minute, won't be long now. I was in there for half the bloody day. I lost about 3 pounds, honestly.
Hang on a minute,
Hang on a minute.
Do you remember the episode with the black slime?
No.
I didn't see any of y'all getting that black slime, Metamucil and black printer's ink.
Oh, no,
which
no,
I
no,
still
no,
haven't
excuse me,
taken.
no,
And I was in all day.
No, the mud bath. The mud bath. I'm sorry. That mud.
What
You
mud?
know, you hear mud bath, you think, oh, spa, right? Oh, no.
What mud bath were you in?
I was in a mud bath with Majel and Michael Dorn. With the tallest hair in the history of the universe.
But
And,
Marina, hold on.
yeah, but it was...
We did take a long jacuzzi together. Do you
We
remember
did,
that when you
yeah.
shaved?
I know, when I was, and then after, when you were on the phone with Dorney, with Worf, I was actually shaving my legs, but they cut it out. But, the mud bath was not spa. It was from the Tropicana in Hollywood, from the mud wrestling. And it was... It was used mud.
Oh, boy.
There's indescribable bits in it. It was disgusting. That's her episode where I'm an amphibian, I'm soaking wet in prosthetics, hair falling out.
And Will
I
Wheaton's
swear
next
they hated
vlog.
me.
My favorite moment of unexpected hilarity on the set happened in, I think, the 3rd or 4th season. We were on the bridge, and a very big deal was made about how this was. So on Star Trek, when the ship gets hit by a thing, we have a 1 to 10 point scale, right? Of like, so we all know how much we're supposed to move. And yeah, so let's do a 4, all right? Okay. Yeah, we'll go right first and then we'll go left, okay? And hit! And hit! So we all know what. Was, by the way, delightful to share that with all of you.
This was the one.
Oh, you're gonna do it! Okay! So this is the biggest hit we've ever had, and
Okay.
a very big deal is made out
No,
of it.
no,
Okay,
no.
go.
This was the one that got small. Remember? Okay. And we're just going forward. That's all. Okay, guys. Camera's rolling. And boom. That was dumb. And boom.
They are Harlem shaking.
Yeah, but are they in on it?
Oh, it's the moderator.
Oh, that's horrible.
I think the lunch truck just
It's
pulled
the
up.
Harlem Shake.
I honestly
That
just
was
thought we
bad.
were about to be privy to a next generation Harlem Shake.
My apologies, Sir Patrick. That was appropriate
bad.
for what you were trying to describe. I'm sorry.
Horse
if I
choke
hit
that
it wrong.
guy.
That was bad.
Is that you, Mowgli?
Yeah.
You're fired.
Oh,
Force choke
I'm out of
him.
here. Sir Patrick.
That was horrible. I'm deleting that.
Can we get on to our next question here?
Sure.
Unless Will, you want to continue
No, that's
on
quite
that,
all right.
that
Go
point?
ahead.
Oh, my apologies. We'll get back to that. Okay, Sir Patrick, they'd like for you to finish your story, sir. Yes,
I can't believe you did that.
if you would, sir. There's no story. It was just an illustration of the
believe you
subtlety
did
of the ship-shape technique, which I observed when in an episode I was directing. It was just beautifully done. That was so. But I think we need more of those.
We'll get them back. We have another question for you guys, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
I really enjoy it when you imitate each other, particularly Patrick Stewart, and you've done a great job of that in this panel. So I was wondering, for anybody who hasn't done any imitations of a fellow cast member that they would like to do, I'd love it when you guys do that.
So Patrick?
And now you have to guess who this is. And I want you all to shout out the name of the character after I've done it. Red alert!
Jonathan, reciprocate.
Yep. Right there. You did have that John Wayne.
That is classic, ladies and
John Wayne.
Any other impersonations?
Well, if I wasn't all dressed up, I'd do a roll across the stage and, in honor of Mr. LaForge. He'll do it anyway.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Something's happening with the warp core.
Don't hurt yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was absolutely beautiful. From the stunt man, LeVar Burton himself.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, who planned on topping that one? Anyone?
No.
I can do the splits, but my skirt's too short.
Okay. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to also.
That was Jordy right before he was on the slab, right?
That's fantastic.
Oh, is that the end of our impersonations? Anyone else want to try for anyone else? All righty, John Delancey. Are they gone? Are they gone? Great impersonation, John Delancey. You. Okay, next question. Go ahead.
This is for LeVar Burton. Honestly, I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the time when you were recently on Community.
No.
It was a great time. Donald Glover is very attractive and incredibly talented. And I missed my friends.
Did he believe the very attractive and then say talented?
Okay, hi.
Hello, my name is Laura. I was wondering if there were any questions that you were hoping to be asked tonight, and if you want any chocolate.
That's the greatest face ever.
The red is dark and the blue is milk. Yeah, what was the question that you were hoping that you might be asked tonight? I guess that was it.
I think the question, it appears that the question that was hoped for is, would you all like some chocolate? Yeah, next question.
They're all eating it.
Thank you. Alrighty, next up.
Just keep.
How you doing?
Hi, I
part of the things that intrigued me about Star Trek was the moral lessons that were frequently sort of intertwined into the episodes, and I think a lot of us really appreciate that. And this is actually directed towards Will, but probably the rest of you may have similar comments to make as well. But in Final Mission, a lot of the episodes sort of circulated around the plight of, metaphorically around the American Indians. And I was wondering if you did any particular kind of homework or research before that episode, and similarly if anybody else had an episode where they felt like they really need to do some sort of homework or research in order to be able to get into the part.
There was an episode where I played a lizard, and so I hung out with geckos, and and I spent a lot of time doing this in the mirror. And when the day came, I felt absolutely ready, like I had really done my homework and I was ready for the gig.
If we started shooting a script on, say, a Wednesday, we got the script Tuesday night, right? So there was no research. You basically learned your lines, said your lines, hit your mark and tried not to bump into the furniture. There was no time for research. When I got a speech to Troy, I actually did subscribe to Psychology Today because we don't really do therapy in England. We have a cup of tea and a cigarette and get on with it. You know what I mean? So I have never been to therapy. So I subscribed to Psychology Today for about 6 months and then that was it.
With regard to Final Mission, I actually treated it less as an issue directly affecting American Indians and more of an issue of what Wesley viewed as an imperial colonial power in forcing its will and its morality on indigenous people who didn't want it. And it didn't
like America.
It didn't. Well, yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, it didn't. So
like England.
Specific power and specific, the oppressor and the oppressed were less important than Wesley having what he really believed was the courage of his convictions to stand up in a way for something that he felt was really, really wrong. And I thought about going, in that, when Picard tells Wesley in the episode The First Duty of a Starfleet officer is to the truth, that Wesley was simply upholding the ideals that he had been taught. And I just prepared those scenes with that in mind.
Can I also say this was something that has to do also with the character for me. I loved the way the writers had the Prime Directive and the Hippocratic Oath in conflict in some of the episodes. I thought that philosophically that was really cool. And the episode like The High Ground, where Picard was going, no, it's the Prime Directive, we don't get involved, and then she was going, yes, but people are suffering. I thought that was, I'm just saying because it was interesting, I thought.
Star Trek and science fiction, I think, works really well when it gives us an excuse to sit down and we can watch the explosions, we can watch the aliens, we can enjoy the adventure, but we can also think about that situation where there is not an easy answer. And from a particular point of view, Dr. Crusher is correct and Picard is correct. And there is a tremendous, incredible conflict. And it's pretty incredible that we were able to do that when we only had 42 minutes to an episode, where we had to reset at the end of every week. We didn't have these season-long arcs where we got to explore things like people get to now. And that we were able to attack some of those issues in the late 80s. Was, I think, really phenomenal and something I'm really proud to be part of.
No, I agree, and I think that's something that people... that's my boy. I think that sometimes we want someone always to be right and the other one to be wrong, and that's really not the way life is so much. Often there's a lot of ambivalences and there are contradictions, and it's something that I think can be hard to live with. And it was great to be on a show that said, no, that's okay. The crew can still like each other and disagree.
Yes, only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Nice. Anyone else would like to respond to that question before we move on to the next? Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Hi.
Given the recent success of the new Star Trek movies by J.J. Abrams. Do you think there's a possibility of a new Star Trek Next Generation reboot? And if so, what would you guys think about it? Would you be up for that or not?
It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Stop wishing, stop praying, stop lighting candles to the Virgin Mary. It's not gonna happen. We're done. It's as if, like the original cast were done at one point, we're done. And it's really sad, but, you know, life's a bitch and then you die.
Actually, what I'm looking forward to is when the present cast that are making the movies at Paramount are replaced by a new group of young actors who are playing all of us. I understand that James McAvoy has already put his name down. Shaved his head or lost his hair. I think one of the cast members is with us today. Playing Riker would be Will Wheaton.
No! Beard Man!
I can do the walk.
Clearly.
Got it. It's so sad when I wasn't in the Pez set that I actually I bought it and I pulled out the Riker and I drew rainbow stripes across the top of it. I was like, it's okay, Wesley, you're in Pez now.
I think there's only one actor really that could play Data, Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
He's the same age as us.
It doesn't matter.
He's very versatile.
How about you, Michael? Michael Dorn, is there any actor out there that could probably play your role today if they were to recast Next Gen?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Gosh, no.
Yeah.
I say that because I don't know. I mean, there's, what was the guy that's on, oh God, Hell on
Blair
Wheels?
Underwood. Blair
No,
Underwood.
no, he's too cute. Hell on Wheels, Common, or even Ludacris.
Luda.
No, that's a real name.
Yeah, it is. That's an excellent choice. Comment.
Yeah, I think those two guys could do it, yeah.
Yeah, how about you, LeVar? Anybody you think could pick up?
Yeah.
Blair Underwood, no.
I don't know. You think? Really? Blair Underwood?
I don't know. Well, Sammy Davis Jr. is gone. Right? And that's it. No Next Generation reboot. Ben Vereen is a candidate, I think.
What about Snoop Lion?
Snoop Lion would make a very good Geordie. I think Snoop Lion would be a very nice choice. What's Gary Coleman doing? Never mind. Strike him off the list. Take him off the list.
He could do that scene we talked about.
Yes, right? Most Def. I like Most Def. Avery Brooks has a job.
It's gotta be people younger than us, dodos.
There is no one younger than us.
Mila Kunis is gonna be me.
Yeah!
Okay, and I am seriously working on being Riker. If that's the way
Jessica Chastain.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. Denise, we haven't casted you yet.
I'd say maybe Rhoda Mitchell.
Okay. Yeah.
Guys know her?
See it.
Red Widow. She's got a new series on. Her poster is all over LA, and my own son thinks it's me.
Wow.
So I think that's a good one. He keeps going, Mom, is that you? No, it's Rhoda Mitchell.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna guess her.
All right, now we need an antagonist. John, who would you like to portray your role?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, okay.
You just gave me a visual I did not want. Okay. All right, I think we did the entire team. Did we lose? Who were we missing?
Gates.
No, I've already nominated Jim.
Yes, you did.
McAvoy.
Yeah, he said Jim. Okay, so we got everybody. All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Next
Yeah,
question.
they didn't do Gates.
I just want to thank you for tonight. It's been supremely entertaining, and I also wanted to.
Oh yeah, the girl from Zero Dark Dating.
Oh yeah. Times of my life as well as my family in more ways than I can convey to you right now. So thank you. Serious question though, Mr. Spiner. I love Data. He was my favorite character throughout the series. No offense to anyone else, but just the progression, the evolution, the depth of character. How did you feel when Nemesis came to you and you saw what was going to happen and you read the script and just
I heard.
Well, yeah, I co-wrote the story with John Logan and Rick Berman, so when the script arrived,
Pretty much ready for it. Yeah.
and I got to the last page, I went, oh yeah, right, I remember.
He wrote himself out.
Yeah, he wrote himself.
But, you know, I thought, I know a lot of people were unhappy with Data departing in that way. I thought it was. Oh, sorry. If you haven't seen the movie,
you're like a decade late
right now. Actually, I just thought at the time when John and I and Rick we were talking about how should Data go out. I kind of thought I don't know if you've seen the movie White Heat with James Cagney, where he made it Ma top of the world and he blows up. The only thing missing, I didn't say made it Ma top of the world, but I blew up just like him. And but in seriousness, a lot of people were unhappy with that. But the fact is, we never did another movie after that. So in effect, everyone else died too. And you just got to see mine. So it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
No, seriously, we kind of knew we weren't going to do another film. We thought if we were, we had an idea of how to resurrect Data, but since you've never seen any of the other characters again, they effectively have blown up as well.
I just have to ask, who didn't see Nemesis?
Okay, I'm so sorry I ruined it for you. He did.
It's your fault we were cancelled.
Bam! Oh!
That's like 7 people.
Exactly. But 7 people in one hall, multiply that by all the cities and all the movie theaters in the country. It's your fault!
Okay. Hi. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Hello.
Okay, where's the bathroom? There was a really long line, and I just ended up here somehow. I'm just kidding. No, in all seriousness, I'm Brittany, by the way. And well, you've inspired a culture. Any of you would like to answer? Like, how do you feel about that? There's thousands of people in this room. I think.
No.
Can't count, but. How does it feel to inspire a culture, like a social culture? We're all here because of you.
My husband's a musician, and he said, because I didn't really get how huge Star Trek was, I have to be honest, I didn't understand it. I was in England, Patrick didn't even know about it, because he was in a cave at the RSC for 17 years. And so I didn't have a concept really of the hugeness of it. And then my husband said to me, you don't get it, he said. Being asked to be on Star Trek is like a musician being asked to join the Rolling Stones. And then I kind of got it, right? I got it that suddenly by being involved in this project, I suddenly was a part of pop culture. And that when they write the history of TV, we're going to be in it. It's kind of awe-inspiring, actually, because I don't think any of us, when we came into the business, imagined that would be the path that our careers would take. So it's awe-inspiring, it's humbling, it's very humbling for me anyway. And I burst with pride whenever someone like you makes a comment like that. So thank you.
I echo that feeling. I also will say it's fantastic.